Hi, it's Doug talking about major equipment within Fire Department Online. After signing into your website, you will be presented with the firefighter's home page. Your home page will look a little different than what is being shown to you here, as your website will be customized for your fire department. Also, your fire department may not have implemented all options available within the Fire Department Online software. Click on Equipment from the navigation bar. Now click on the Major Equipment button. Any major equipment added will have the ability to have inspection reports performed on them. Please see the video on inspection reports maintenance to see how to set up an inspection report. You can even add fire stations as major equipment if you would like inspection reports done on the fire stations. I know, a fire station isn't really a major piece of equipment in the true sense. We have the ability of telling the system not to show the fire station as a major piece of equipment within the public section of the website. Now let's add a major piece of equipment by clicking on the Add Equipment button. I would now like to go over this page for adding major equipment into your system. Equipment description is self-explanatory. However, I do want to point out that the description will be used by the incident reporting system. Based on the responding unit section within the email received from who's responding or dispatch, the system will try to match part or all of the description of the equipment to determine if the equipment responded to the incident. Fire station is where the major equipment is physically located. If you only have one fire station, then this will be automatically selected as shown. Otherwise, you would need to choose the correct fire station that the major equipment is stationed in. Odometer, if marked with a yes, will indicate that this piece of equipment has an odometer, and in an inspection report time, the system will ask for the odometer reading for this piece of equipment. In service is whether this piece of equipment is currently in active service within your fire department. If this is set to no, then this equipment will not be shown in the inspection reports until it is put back in service. Show in equipment gallery photos is where we can decide whether we would like this piece of equipment shown to the public on the fire station's page. If we added a fire station so that we could do an inspection report on this piece of equipment, this is where we tell the system, do not show this piece of equipment to the public, but still have it listed at inspection report time. There is an option available so you can do non-scheduled inspection reports. If that option is turned on, you would have this additional input field. When you turn on this option, you can name what you want to call the non-scheduled inspection reports for your fire department. In this example, we named ours to After Call. Can submit after call inspection reports is where we can decide if this piece of major equipment can have non-scheduled inspection reports done. If you selected yes, then this piece of major equipment would have the ability to submit a non-scheduled inspection report. You might be asking yourself, why not allow all major equipment to have the ability to do a non-scheduled inspection report? This is because major equipment like fire stations, compressors, etc., you probably don't want them to be shown in the non-scheduled inspection report listings. I have turned off the ability to do non-scheduled inspection reports for the remainder of this video. Let's add the fire station as major equipment so we can do inspection reports on it. We will also show you what happens when you select No for Show in Equipment Gallery Photos. Once finished with your input, click on the Add Equipment button. We get a confirmation message that the equipment was successfully added. Also, there are no additional input fields available to us, as well as the Add Equipment button is now an Update Equipment button. Click on the Major Equipment Listings button. We are returned to the Major Equipment Listings page where we now see the Springbrook Hall. Click on the Add Equipment button so that we can add Fire and Rescue 290. This time we will click on the Yes buttons for Odometer, In Service, and Show in Fire Stations Equipment Gallery Photos. This time our confirmation message is telling us that the equipment was added successfully, as well as telling us that we can now add the photo information. Also, we now have all these additional input fields available to us since we clicked Yes on Show in Fire Stations Equipment Photo Galleries. We will now update the photo information for Fire and Rescue 290. You must supply a comment in the Photo Gallery Line 1 input box. Photo Gallery Line 2 and 3 are optional inputs. Next, click on the Choose File button and navigate to the location of your image that you want to use for Fire and Rescue 290. Lastly, click on the Add Photo Comments button. We get a confirmation message stating that the equipment image information was successfully updated. Now that we have finished adding Fire and Rescue 290, click on the Return to Major Equipment Listings button. There are now 2 pieces of major equipment in the listings. I will now go offline and add more major equipment. As you can see, I've added a few more pieces of major equipment. If you look at Tanker 260, you will notice that there is a checkbox under the column labeled Delete. This is because if you notice under the column labeled In Service, there is an X indicating that Tanker 260 is out of service, therefore you can now delete it if required. I will go ahead and click on the checkbox to delete Tanker 260. You must enter a reason why you are deleting a major piece of equipment. Now we click on the Delete Equipment button and we are returned to the Major Equipment Listings page where we receive a confirmation message that Tanker 260 was deleted. As you can see, Tanker 260 is no longer listed. Here we are looking at the major equipment listings on the left of the screen. On the right of the screen, we will navigate to where the public can see a list of your major equipment based on whether the Show in Equipment Gallery Photos is set to Yes for that piece of equipment. Remember, we set Springbrook Hall to No, and all the other major pieces of equipment was set to Yes for Show in Equipment Gallery Photos. Here we see the ATV, Fire and Rescue 290, Pickup 250, Pumper 270, and Pumper 280. We are now at the beginning again showing the major equipment, and notice that Springbrook Hall was not shown. That concludes the video on major equipment within Fire Department Online. Thanks for watching.